Well, good afternoon, everyone. Michael Faust here. Happy New Year. Welcome to 2024. Hope you had a great Christmas and New Year. Joining you from Malaysia today rather than our normal Thailand home. And it's my pleasure today to help bring some understanding to everything Daisy, a bit of where we've come from, where we are right now and where it's going. I know there's been a lot of information flowing out and a lot of people basically are, well, some people who are a little bit confused as to basically what's actually going on. So sit back, enjoy, and get some clarity on everything. So let me just get that set up. So I said, today we're all about talking about the big picture. And this is a big picture project. I just a bit of background. I have been involved in my own businesses or building businesses for now 38 years. I've been full-time in the network marketing industry now for 34 years in another month from today. And I've been involved with the Daisy project from conception. In fact, Ilya, one of the founders, has been a good friend of mine for over a dozen years. And my business partner and I were initially asked to do the IT development for the Daisy project until they moved to a smart contract. We've also did extensive due diligence on Dr. Anna and Endotech before we even knew about Daisy. A lot of you have heard that story, but just to give you some sort of context for those people who are new, that we do have a lot of understanding and we are pacesetter leaders in this business and have created an international team with this. So I hope today we can give you sufficient information to help you make some informed decisions. First thing I want to talk about is the differentiation between Daisy Crowdfund and the Daisy projects, because a lot of people just throw the word Daisy out there and don't clearly define that there are two very distinct differences between the Daisy Crowdfund community and the Daisy projects. So let's talk about the community as our first topic. The community is basically the fundraising aspect of Daisy. It's like a venture capital raising group of people. Normally with venture capital raising, you'll have a venture capital company that might have anything from 4 to 10 major investors who've got a lot of money. And this was how funds were raised for companies like Uber, Airbnb, Netflix, WhatsApp, Spotify, the list goes on and on. And their intention is to basically get equity in those projects to get an upside on their profit. And venture capitalists typically approach projects with an attitude that they only expect 1 in 5 to do well. In this sense, we've got 220,000 plus people who are part of our venture capital raising community. And the community continues to grow ongoingly, even after projects complete. And that should answer a question for a lot of people. The community continues to grow ongoingly even after projects complete. So sometimes when a project completes, only the members of the community up to that point in time get access to that project ongoingly, and no new members can get access to that previous project, which is happening with the Daisy AI, which we'll talk more about. Sometimes there are criteria for a member to access a new project that we crowdfund. So you might have to make a purchase, you might have to do certain things to participate in that project. But it's very important to understand the actual community is completely separate to the projects, and the community is ongoing, ever expanding, ever growing. And once you're in it, the community stays the same. The genealogy of your team, in other words, the actual personal community that you build from your personal referrals and their referrals and their referrals, always remains the one constant. You don't build that community multiple times. You don't have to start again with each new project. The community remains constant and is ever growing. And the community is rewarded with different things like referral commissions for bringing new contributors to projects, and sometimes with equity and other rewards, like, for example, trading rewards. In contrast, the community raises funds for projects. And the first project was the DAISY AI project, which was basically developing the next level of artificial intelligence for the financial industry. And that was done by the fintech company Endotech. And access to that project for the community for new people will end on February 21, 2024. So February 21, 2024, no one will be able to access more. I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. We had the DAISY token uplift initial coin offering. There's no longer any access to that in terms of crowdfunding. You can still participate in that project, but there's no crowdfunding benefits. And that project ran for only about 2 months in terms of a crowdfunding side of things. Liquid mining, access is ongoing, and I'll go into more detail about these projects. And we've got this new project, which I'll talk a little bit about, which you can access from February 21. So these are the current projects. And the reality is there could be many, many more. So the crowdfund community could be in existence for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years plus. We can be actually raising funds for multiple projects in multiple product categories in multiple industries. So let's talk about our first project, DAISY AI. The crowdfunding aspect of that ends February 21. The crowdfunding objectives were twofold. One was to raise $10 million for Endotech to put together the team of the right people to basically do the actual development of the technology. That's been achieved. They have received $10 million from the crowdfund community for that. The second goal was to have $500 million in a trading fund that was for testing and development. So to allow that AI, like a newborn baby, to learn how to trade with those funds. And that's been achieved. Our total balance in our trading funds exceeds 500 million. So we've achieved both the objectives. So there's effectively no more tier contributions because the tiers were associated with the crowdfund aspect from February 21. That's the last day you can make a contribution. And the access to Endotech equity, that offer ends February 21 as well. You can no longer make any crowdfund contributions from February 21 and no longer or ever again get access to equity shares. So new members, there's no new member access from February 21. It basically becomes a private VIP members only fund. So there's no referral aspect to the DAISY AI project beyond February 21. You can never, ever bring somebody in new again into DAISY. Only those who are in the DAISY actual crowdfund community on February 21 will have the ongoing access. And you'll basically have lifetime access. So all that's going to happen is basically the funds that are in a testing and development stage will be moving into a legal regulated entity. Now, it could be a hedge fund, it could be a decentralized fund. We don't know that. And in fact, the reality is there's probably going to be multiple different formats because there is no one type of fund that suits every jurisdiction around the world. You know, the laws for the USA are different to EU, different to the UK, different to Australia, different to Thailand, to Malaysia, to Japan, et cetera, et cetera. So it might be an actual hybrid or a multiple of different types of funds. But here's the things that are constant. The funds that you have in the trading fund right now will continue to trade using exactly what is being done now. Right now, it's a combination of professional traders and the DAISY AI. What that'll be ongoingly, not sure. But effectively, every strategy that is being utilized will continue to work and probably get better and better as time goes on. So you'll never lose that ability to make those trading rewards. You can continue to compound exactly as you are now by not withdrawing and letting the profits build up and actually accumulate. You can continue to withdraw. So nothing is really changing apart from the status of the legal entity that holds the funds that are being traded. But you won't be able to add any more new funds from February 21 up until around September. And the reason is because they're setting up the legal entities down at the crowdfund stage will end February 21. They need to set up those entities in different jurisdictions and they need time. Now, it may be before September 2024 and it may be later than that. We don't have a defined timeline because it's going to take as long as it takes. And I'll talk more about what you should be doing there. Remember, the access to Endotech equity ends February 21. So the shares, we did some calculations. Anybody who knows me knows that I love creating calculators and I love running the numbers. Maybe it's the engineering part of me. But we've calculated that the potential is the shares will be worth hundreds of dollars each in terms of the equity shares that you receive with each crowdfund contribution. Hence, the potential equity that you receive with each tier contribution, each momentum pack, could be worth multiple times the value of what you outlay for those tiers and momentum packs. So, for example, you buy a tier 5, 1600, it could be worth multiple times that just for the equity alone, without taking into account the potential trading rewards you enjoy. If you become a Pacesetter Gold, there's an extra 5% put aside for Pacesetter Golds, shared equally amongst all Pacesetters. Well, that could be worth potentially multiple six figures, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And a Pacesetter leader, there's an extra 2% set aside just for them, and that could be multiples of that again. So is it worth becoming a Pacesetter Gold and a Pacesetter leader? Absolutely. But even just your normal contribution and your momentum packs could be worth a lot. Let's face it, when have you been rewarded for your day-to-day, week-to-week, month-to-month efforts with equity in a multi-billion-dollar IPO? I certainly haven't, and I'm very thankful for that opportunity. You can choose to hold on to your equity. You might not cash it out quickly because you may see the potential. I mean, it's like people, I was talking to a good friend of mine. One of his friends bought Apple shares very, very early. Apple shares dipped a little bit. He got scared. He sold them. He made $10,000. If he had kept those shares today, they would be worth millions of dollars. So you decide. Equity alone could set you up for your best life. Those equity shares could be worth potentially tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, even potentially millions of dollars, depending on how much you have. Now, again, I say all this with the caveat, no guarantees are made. This is highly speculative. It's on the assumption that they do IPO. We're talking about approximately a $10 billion valuation at IPO. And we're talking about the current number of members who are involved and qualifies. So I'm just giving you some approximate numbers based on what we actually propose or what we think, and we speculate what might happen. But again, it's no guarantees. Now, also note that the 6 monthly performance fees are being reset. So as you may know or not know, the trading rewards, normally with Endotech, with their corporate clients and their larger clients, they get charged a performance fee of between 30 and 50% every month. In Daisy, we only pay a 30% performance fee when we withdraw. If we don't withdraw and we compound, we only pay that performance fee every 6 months. Now, what's happened is it's going to be the next 6 monthly cycle is going to be reset to start on February 21. So effectively, there'd be no more performance fees unless you withdraw. But if you're just compounding and yours is due in this next 6 weeks, it'll get postponed, which means in effect, the next actual 6 monthly deduction will occur 6 months after, which is about August this year. That provides an opportunity from now and all the time before now to compound up to a large degree. So, because obviously if your performance fee is not being deducted, that means you've got a larger balance working for you, which can seriously increase your potential trading rewards. So that's a really positive thing. It also means that with everybody's 6 monthly performance fees being reset from February 21, it means that there's going to be 2 times a year when the 6 monthly comes out. So there's going to be 2 big paydays if you've built a personal community, because when performance fees are deducted, commissions are paid on there as well. But note, if you do withdrawals, and some people do, some people withdraw every week, some people every fortnight, some people every month, sometimes every so often. Apart from the 6 monthly, if you do withdraw, you pay the performance fee at that point, and then your 6 monthly is only deducting the difference, but it hasn't been deducted so far. Now, the trading profits are likely to improve and return to previous highs. Anybody who's been involved for a while now knows that, we've basically had 90 plus weeks of consecutive wins, but the trading rewards, the profitability we were getting in the early stages was a lot higher. Now, when you've got a small number of people in a smaller fund, you can take a lot more risks. Dr. Anna took a very conservative approach, and rightfully so. Everybody loves big wins, but I can guarantee you, even though we've had 90 consecutive weeks, the minute we have a losing week, there'll be people out there in the community who'll be screaming, scam, how could they do this to me? I told you it wasn't going to work. They don't understand that that's not normal. 90 consecutive weeks of winning profitability is not normal in trading. My business partners and I have been involved in institutional trading, in using professional traders and great trading box in multiple asset categories who had impeccable records, and we lost 6-figure plus in all of those, even though we did a lot of due diligence and they were all fantastic. So the fact that we're getting this consecutive winning rate is a really good thing. But preservation of capital is much more important than profitability. But the good thing is we're going to see the profitability return to sort of previous highs. Why will that happen? Because they've been able to source additional liquidity. Now, actual liquidity from third-party providers and having new brokerages to trade with as well means we can start to use a little bit of leverage with the trading, which generally boosts profits. Now, I'm not a trader. I won't pretend to be able to educate you on trading. My business partners have ran offshore licensed funds, and so they've taught me the basics. But the bottom line is we're going to be able to leverage up the amount of profitability we can, or that Dr. Anna can create, and we're going to start to see profits return to highs. Now, when will it happen? Probably in the next 30, 60 days. And what will that happen? What will that result in? It'll result in higher trading rewards on the same capital. Higher trading rewards means when the performance fees are deducted, the unit level commissions that are paid out are higher. It means Pacesetter Gold and leadership payouts are higher. And it means the pool payouts for builder and achiever bonus and event pools are higher. Overall, it's a win-win for everybody from passive to active participants. The Daisy AI referral pay plan basically ends in terms of the Endotech AI project. There's no more new people from February 21, so there's no more referral side. That means no more referral bonuses, no more direct bonuses, no more matrix bonuses, nothing to do with referrals. The unit level commissions that could get paid out from the performance fees, they will continue for the life of the fund. And if you think about this properly, you'll understand that those unit level commissions should increase with the same people without any new people, because a lot of people basically compound, which means that the balance they have is going up and up and up and up, which means the performance fees deducted every 6 months is increasing. So without you doing any more work to increase, if no new funds went into your community at all, into the Daisy AI side, and no new people went in, your unit level payments should continue to increase, and particularly if the trading profitability increases. Of course, the builder and achiever bonus pools will keep paying. The original ones will pay until, I think it's May this year, and the new ones will pay until May next year. Pacesetter Gold and Pacesetter Leader payouts will continue to pay out. So all these things will continue, but there's no more referral aspect to the Daisy AI project. Okay, so that's Daisy AI. Next project, number 2, Uplift, began as Daisy Token and got rebranded into Uplift. The project is ongoing, and there are some changes being made to the business model, which will be announced at the Dubai event. Now, there's no guarantee that every project we crowdfund is going to be a raving success. That'll be unrealistic if you have a venture capital mindset, and you should do, because that's what we are. We're crowdfunding technology projects, and we're being rewarded for the development of that technology and the outcomes from that. Now, the founders very generously have taken $10 million that they had from the performance fees, and they're going to put that to work to be traded. And the profits from that are basically going to be used to reimburse everybody to the value of the purchases of Daisy tokens that they've made. When will it start and how long will it take? I don't have the exact information. They shared the very basics that they probably want to start that pretty soon. How long it'll take to pay it out, I don't know. But it's a very generous act, because their attitude is basically the project didn't meet expectations, but we want to make sure that nobody is in a loss position, which is, yes, again, if you're a realistic investor, entrepreneur, you should always expect there's risk and losses, but very generously. And you get to keep your Uplift tokens. So you're going to get reimbursed for your outlay and get to keep your tokens. So I think that's very generous. New announcements made in February. Liquid mining, basically it's an ongoing project. It's mining Bitcoin and altcoins. We're moving into a bull run, which means the whole crypto market is going to be increasing with the next halving in the next few months. And altcoins traditionally do very well with each halving. So if you want to be involved in some speculative altcoins and also minting of the granddaddy of crypto, Bitcoin, then that's an opportunity for you. The new project. Now, I've only got a little bit of information on this, and I've got an NDA that I signed, so I can't just give you any details, but I can give you enough that should make this a no-brainer. We're targeting a 3 billion person target market. So imagine you're going to be involved with a project that already has participation with over 3 billion people. In fact, a lot of those 3 billion are scattered through every country in the world. A lot of these people are very actual parochial and passionate fans of this industry, sometimes beyond logical passion. And we're going to disrupt an industry that's already been around for a long time. Okay, it's a well-established industry. It's not some new groundbreaking technology. This is an industry that's already been around. It's mainstream. But just like Uber didn't invent the taxi industry, but Uber disrupted the taxi industry. Airbnb didn't create the accommodation industry, but it disrupted the hotel and resort industry and the accommodation industry. Netflix didn't create media, but they disrupted the home entertainment industry. So you don't need to create a new category. You don't need to create a new industry. You just need to find a way to disrupt it. And that's what this project will be doing. 18 months of work's already gone into it, with tens of millions of dollars already invested. It has backing from major governments who are very enthusiastically participating. You're going to see some very well-known personalities endorsing, personalities that you probably wouldn't have believed that would be involved, but they are. There's some very well-known media companies who are very keen to be involved. And the project has a really good feel-good story to it. It's something that, even if you're not a business person, you would feel good about being a part of it and what it's going to do for people. And here's the kicker. if I got everybody in the entire community right now, 220,000 plus people, and I said, write down on a piece of paper the 5 things that you think it could be. You know, put me a multiple choice of 5 industries or disruptive businesses that this new project could be. I would bet almost everything that I have that not one person would be able to predict it. So if you're thinking it's another ICO, another sort of Me Too trading program or crypto deal, it's none of the above. It's none of those. And I guarantee that none of you will predict it in your wildest dreams, because when I first heard it, I had to ask them to repeat it a couple of times. And it took me a bit of mindset shift to think, wow, that was definitely not on my radar and would never be on my radar. So I can't say any more than that. But think about that. If you've already got a 3 billion person global audience, and we're going to disrupt an industry that's well established, you've got media companies involved, you've got governments backing it, you've got well-known, iconic global personalities involved, media companies being involved, and nobody knows about it, nobody would guess what it is. That's a pretty exciting proposition. And the new referral plan that goes along with that. So basically, the current referral plan was largely based around the Endotech Daisy AI project. We've got a new pay plan because there was some positives of the old plan, and there was some things that I wasn't a big fan of, and I think we can do better. And so the new plan is a uni-level plan with dynamic compression. Effectively, what that means is you're being rewarded on what you build from your referrals down. There is qualifications that will be based around your number of personal referrals and your total team volume with a 50% rule. So you can't be just lucky and enroll one person and they create all your volume. You need to at least have 2. And there's no more matrices. So that means there's no more spillover, okay? What you earn will be based on what you build. And I like that because I find with these sort of actual spillover type plans, people sit around and wait for something to rain down on them from above. They're waiting for somebody else's work to reward them rather than becoming competent at building their own community and having their success built on what they do, not on what the people above them are doing. Now, you may have your own personal point of view on that, but I've got 34 years full-time experience, been involved in a lot of pay plans, and I can tell you the uni-level plans have always been the fairest, the most equitable, and the most rewarding. The exact details will be released on February 21. So what should you do now? Well, what you do now will lay the foundation for the future. So if you're a passive participant or you've got passive participants in your personal community, this is what I would do. You want to maximize your contributions to maximize your funds and trade. Because remember, after February 21, for about 6 months, you can't add any more. So whatever your balance is up to February 21, that's the amount of funds that are working for you ongoingly until you can add more funds. There'll be a window of about 6 months where you can't add any more. Obviously, momentum packs are the way to maximize the amount of your contribution that goes into the trading pool. So I would be loading up on momentum packs, which means basically tier 2 and above. Now, also tier 2 and above momentum packs and normal tiers give you equity shares. Remember, equity shares are going to be potentially multiple times your purchase value of your tiers and momentum packs. So maximizing your equity and maximizing your balance that's working for you is a logical approach. If you're a community builder, you want to maximize your income. Now, I just want to take you back in time. When I decided to get involved with Daisy, it was before it even started. And that was in December 2020 when I fully committed. It was about 6 weeks out from pre-launch in January 2021. And the first thing I did was ask, what do I need to do personally in terms of my own financial commitment to maximize my outcome? I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a business person. I look at this from an actual commercial view. I don't let as far as my emotions or my opinions get in the way. I make commercial decisions. What is my outlay that I need to make to maximize? Secondly, I always intend to build a referral community. So how many people, how big a team, or what sort of volume, what do I need to do? Now, in that situation, it was 128,000, 24 referrals to be a pace setter. And it was going tier 10, $102,300. So we went tier 10 and we got really busy for 6 weeks. And our first commission payout was over 100,000. So we got our money back on the first day. I'm intentional with what I do. And as I'm saying to you, if you're intentional about your success, what you do in the Daisy AI project between now and February 21 is going to position you for maximum success in the next project. The difference for you now is when I began the Daisy AI project, we were only talking about what might happen, what should happen, what could happen. You've got 6 months, you've got 3 years of history, $600 million raised, over $500 million withdrawn actually by the community in trading rewards and as far as commissions, 150 countries, over 1,000% with compounding with the trading. You know, that's a pretty big success story. 220,000 people involved. This project's not on trial. So what do you need to do? Minimum. And I never talk about minimums. I always talk about maximum, but we will talk about minimum. Minimum 2 referrals of new people who've gone to tier 5 and a total team volume of 25,000 with no more than half of that in one team. That will get you paid 5 levels of referral with compression. What I mean by compression, because there's qualifications to get paid on each level, not everybody within your 5 levels will be qualified to earn the maximum. So you could be paid on levels below level 5 because you've reached that qualification. So you could be paid on 10, 15, 20 generations or more. But if you want to go the next level, you want to have, this is the criteria to get paid even deeper. And again, we should always be starting with what's the maximum I need to do to succeed. The next step is you want to have your own personal new tier 5 contribution or a tier 5 momentum pack, either one. And you want to have at least 5 new referrals at tier 5 and a total of 200,000 in volume in your personal team with no more than half of that from one team. That'll get you 8 levels. Now, what I know after 34 years in this industry full time is the bulk of most people's business is in the first 5 generations, and the bulk of most medium-sized businesses is in the first 8 levels, and you've got dynamic compression here as well. But if you want to go all the way, so like me stepping back 3 years ago, tell me what I need to do to maximize, to get everything that's on the table. I don't want to leave any money on the table. You purchase a new tier 5 or tier 5 momentum pack. You do your 5 referrals at tier 5, 200K in volume, and you become a pace setter leader. If you're already a pace setter leader, you've already done that. That will get you paid 10 levels. That's the maximum. Now, I don't know all the other parts of the referral pay plan, but this is what I do know. And what happens here is this is a fraction of the normal criteria that you need to get paid on 5, 8, and 10 levels with compression. So what's happening is you do this minimum of these 3 things, and you're going to be grandfathered in to maximize your earning potential from day one. You don't want to leave money on the table. It's like if you start a business, surely your intention is to extract every dollar of profitability out of that business. You don't go in there and say, oh, well, I'll be happy if I only make 25% of what's available in income. That would not be logical. Approach this the same way. Let's talk about the Dubai event. Events for me are where belief is built, where bulletproof belief is built. What makes people successful in this industry? You may think it's because they know the referral pay plan. They know all about the product. They know all about crypto and trading. It's none of that. It helps, but none of that will make. I know people who know everything about the pay plan, everything about trading and AI and all the rest of it, and they'll never be successful at a level I will. What makes you attract people is when your belief is bulletproof and you have a mindset that you don't care what anybody says to you, good, bad, or indifferent. It has zero impact on your belief. Events is where that is built.
Abanye badla ama-cornflakes, abanye baphuza indala liphuza ngane bonke.
Please mute your microphone. Please, everybody, if you've got a microphone, make sure it's muted or I will remove you from the room. Okay, the events is where you meet founders. Wouldn't you want to meet the people who are behind the project, where you meet other leaders and gather their stories? This is going to be a room full of 5,000 to 10,000 people with the top performers all there. I would do everything to get my 5 minutes with those leaders. I would have my phone ready with my video and I'd be videoing. Tell me what the most important thing you would tell a new person is. Tell me what the number one thing you did to be successful. You want to capture that and you want to take that back to your team. Don't just go there, put your backside on a seat, take some as far as some selfies and go there with a mission. Go there with a mission to extract knowledge. Go there with a mission to find out what the successful people are doing. You know, get your 30 seconds with the founders. Get your 30 seconds with the people who are making the decisions behind the projects. You know, what excites you most about this project you're bringing? You know, what's the number one thing that you would say to a new person looking at this project? Why not get those comments from the people who probably are sharing it with the most people and have the most intimate understanding of what's going on? That's why you need to be at the event. The event is not an expense. If you're looking at this as an expense, then your mindset is not of an entrepreneur. It's not of a business person, and you are still not going to maximize your success. I go to events all the time and it costs me money and I never make a fuss about the cost. And not only that, this is a self-funding exercise. Just by turning up, you get to be in the event attendees pool. And if you bring some of your friends, bring 2 of your personal referrals, you get 2 shares of that pool. Bring 5 and you get shares in the referral pool. That alone, with the extra contributions that are happening from this current pool that go into the next pool, will ensure you're going to get a really good return. It's going to be a self-funding exercise. Now, going to the event also maximizes your builder and achiever bonus payouts if you're qualified for that. So think about that. Right now, until February 21, is the pre-launch of your best life. You probably heard me talk a lot about your best life because why shouldn't you be talking about your best life? Most people are living a not so good life. Most people are in actual survival mode. Most people are actually struggling to get by, living from week to week. No judgment in that, you know, but I'm very grateful that I made a lot of tough decisions and went through the highs and the lows, the successes and the losses and the profits and so forth, to get to a stage now where we just move country and we're going to spend 6 months in a brand new country and we're going to enjoy that. And it has zero impact upon my income ability. It wouldn't matter if I moved country next month and the month after and the month after that. That's what best life is. Knowing that whenever the bills come in, you don't have to look at what they cost. You just pay them. If you want to go actually away for a vacation every month, You can do that. What's your best life look like? Well, this is the opportunity to pre-launch your best life. You may not have done everything that you needed to do in Daisy up to now. As Edward said, you can't relive 2023, but you can certainly live 2024 with the experience of 2023. So I would say to you, clean slate. Make today the first day that you start and approach this like your life depends on it. Approach this like the money that you need to have that you're earning from February 21, your life depends upon it. It's your life support system, and you need to do everything you possibly can. You want to go with massive action. When I approached this in pre-launch back in 2020, I reached out to every single person I had a conversation with on WhatsApp, on Telegram, on Signal, on Facebook Messenger, whatever chat mechanism it was. And I just said to them, I've got a time-sensitive opportunity that you need to know about. It may be for you, it may not be for you, but I wouldn't take the time to share it with you if I didn't believe in it. Trust me enough to take 5 minutes to get to want to know more. Are you interested? If not, next. Tell everybody, but don't depend on anybody. Tell everybody, don't depend on everybody. It's about sifting and sorting. The people you think that need this the most probably won't do anything. The people you think that will do this probably won't. And the people you think that won't do it probably will. And I can say that after 34 years of experience. So just present to everybody and attract the people who are open-minded and looking, and work with them. Leverage your leadership and the resources. If you're doing this on your own, you're doing it wrong. This is not about you being the master of all things. Should you become competent at actually building a community? Absolutely. Absolutely. But you should be working with leadership. Leverage the tools. In our Crowd Tycoons YouTube channel, there's a massive amount of videos there that will help you understand how to communicate to people the opportunity, how to actually build a community, how the pay plan works, how the product works, how to present it. Everything's in there. If you want to take advantage, it's free. What you do from now to February 21 can literally set you up for your best life. What we did in our first 6 weeks in pre-launch from December 2020 to January 2021, and then the following few months up to the official launch in April 21, literally set up our success. What we did in that short window created 90% of our success in Daisy. You don't need to work your butt off forever to set up a foundation. An opportunity like this has a residual factor to it, but you've got to do enough massive energy in the early stage, build that momentum, build that base of people. Once you've done that, then you just are going to basically help support that and grow it. And you won't be out there chasing every new person. You'll be working with people in your organization closely and in depth. So just get everybody into Daisy AI so they have an opportunity for life, because as of February 21, no one new can get involved. So if you've got family or friends who are sitting on the fence, just say to them, trust me enough to put $100 into tier 1. You may even fund some of your closer family, because you don't want them to miss out, because they won't get another chance. February 22, sorry, game over. You can honestly go to them with hand on heart and say, this is a time-sensitive offer. Get everybody to load up their contributions to maximize their trading rewards until September, because you can't add any new funds from today until September. Sorry, from February 21 till September, around approximately that time. So if you want to maximize your amount of funds going to work, that's what you do. And by doing that, you also maximize your unit level payouts that happen with your personal community. So the more your actual community puts into crowdfund contributions, the more you're going to earn residually. The 85% Momentum Pack promotion ends January 15, and then it reverts to 80%. You've got another time-sensitive deadline. Today is the 6th. You've got 9 days, a 9-day call to action, and then another call to action until February 21. Load up everybody on Momentum Packs. Maximize, again, logically, why wouldn't you get 85% going to work for you rather than 80%? Oh, well, I can wait. Don't wait. Just be a do it now person, not I'll try. I try is the most lazy thing you can do. No maybes. Do it or don't do it. Be a person of integrity who just simply does things or doesn't do it. But be one or the other. That's where integrity comes in. You know, I've got a business partner who's been my best mate for 14 years, my business partner for 10 years, and we've got an amazing relationship. And it's based around one thing. We always do what we say we do. We disagree on stuff. We robustly debate everything, but we always do what we say we will do. And if we can't do it, we say we can't do it. It keeps life uncomplicated. This is a time-sensitive opportunity that isn't waiting for anybody. That's the truth. The Endotech AI Daisy AI project is time-sensitive. You don't get any more time. And the new project, you only have until February 21 to maximize your earning potential at a fraction of the work. If your boss said to you, I will give you the same pay if between now and February 21, you do a little bit of extra work. So a little bit of extra work after February 21, you only have to do 25% of the work to get the same pay. Would you work harder from now to February if from February 22, you could turn up to work and get the same pay, but do 20 to 25% of the work? You'd be an complete idiot if you didn't, would you? That's what we're talking about, folks. Opportunity waits for nobody. There won't be a perfect time to do this. There won't be an ideal time to do it. There won't be the perfect set of circumstances to do it. In fact, people say to me all the time, I don't have money, I don't have time. And I say, that's the very reason you need this now and why you need to act now. How long is that your excuse? You've got to start asking people, are you looking for an opportunity that's going to change the life of your family? Are you consistently looking every week for an opportunity that's going to change your family situation? If not, when do you intend to start looking for an opportunity that's going to change your family? And if they can't answer those two questions, then you need to move on to the next person pretty quick. Don't try and drag people over the finish line. Often the people that you care about the most, who need it the most, simply just aren't going to get out of bed to do it, no matter how good it looks. So that's the end of the presentation. I'm going to open up for 10 minutes to questions. I hope you got some good questions. You can put it in the chat, or you can just put your question in the chat and I'll do my best. I want to keep this to an hour at the most, and then basically we'll wrap it up and I'll put a recording online. But you can give me some love. Did you enjoy today? Did you basically get some value out of today's session? Do you feel more clarity on what's going on in the Daisy world? I hope so. I hope that's the case.
Absolutely. Absolutely, sir. We did.
Thank you.
It was wonderful, sir.
Any questions? Anything not clear?
Yes, there is something that I wish to ask.
Yep, go for it.
We all understand that, come 21st February, the Daisy community crowdfunding ends. And then the team will need around 6 months to work around, the new things pertaining to Daisy. Now, after September 2024, if say you had gone to tier 5 and then you have more funds to add to your existing tier fund, will that be possible after September?
Yeah, so basically there are no more tiers, but you can add, it'll basically be able to add any amount of funds. There may be a minimum amount. It might be a minimum of 100. I'm not sure. We don't know the details, but the tier system is finishing February 21. So there is no more tiers. It'll just be a factor that when they open it up to add more funds, you'll be able to put in potentially, $333.50 or $2,638. So whatever you want to put in will be the amount, but the specific rules will be raised will be announced closer to the time. That's basically how it works. Hope that answers your question. So, you can remember, very important.
Yes, so much. Thank you.
You can still build your community ongoing. The community is ever growing, ever increasing. It's just your ability to add funds to the Endotech side of things will pause February 21 until they have the right structure set up. Magnus, to answer your question, how will the Dubai team activities work? We don't know yet. Basically, the event is now a one-day event. The 22nd is basically an open day for people to get together. So I would encourage people to mingle with their teams. My approach to this is typically this. I'm very good at dumbing down the technicalities and making it into an understandable form. So my mission will be to take all the information, and we're going to get a lot of information on February 20th, and we're not going to understand all of it day one. That's just the truth. It's going to take time to dumb that down and debrief it and make it easy to understand. So I'm going to need probably that first week. So we'll probably do a series of Zooms that will go on in terms of my initial impressions. And then as we unravel and unfold and peel the onion, we'll basically have a series of Zooms that will bring all the clarity to everybody about what's going on. So I hope that you understand it. I think that's the most effective way. By all means, some face-to-face time with your teams on the 22nd. Depends on how long you want to be there.
So I've got a question also.
Yes, sure.
After 6 months, after September, if you upgrade your investment, will there still be any amount that you pay for development, like 15% that you are paying right now, or not?
Not sure what you mean. Basically, any funds that you put in.
You see, right now, when you buy, say you buy Momentum Packs for maybe 512,000, right? I got 15%. I got 85% is what will go to your trading.
Yeah,
the other 50%.
Will a portion of your contribution come out of that? Possibly. The possibly could be a fee for deposit. I don't know that answer right now, but basically, it's I would expect that with most of these investment funds, there basically usually is some sort of actual deposit fee to process all that. I don't know the exact details of that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
good exactly what I wanted to know.
No worries. We'll be able to onboard hedge funds and accredited investors. Well, basically, you can't onboard anybody new into the DAISY.io project from February 21, regardless of whether they're a hedge fund, whether they're actually BlackRock. It wouldn't matter. There's no more opportunity to basically onboard anybody from that point. Beforehand, there is nothing stopping.
Another last.
Hold on. Let me finish. Basically, up until February 21, there's no reason that an institutional fund, couldn't come on board. But the reality is they're going to have to play by the same rules. They're going to have to make contributions through tiers and, go through all that process. There is no special process for those sort of investors. So I hope that answers that.
Now, my last question is, if I understood you properly, the 30% withdrawal fee will still be there, even after September.
Correct. That actual performance fee still comes out of all withdrawals ongoingly. And if you don't withdraw, it happens every 6 months, or it'll happen every 6 months regardless. It's just that it'll reset the timeline of when it starts. So the performance fee cycle, the 6 monthly cycle, will restart February 21, which means the next performance fee 6 monthly cycle won't be until around August 21 this year. But yes, because that's how the Endotech model works. If you're an existing client of Endotech, which you need to have $1 million of funds and pay $125,000 fee, you pay performance fees, depending on which of the actual strategies that you use, of between 30 and 50% every month. So the fact that we only pay it every 6 months and only pay 30% is a great plus, because if you're having monthly deductions, you can imagine your balance is always being reduced a bit which means your ability to compound is not as great. So the fact that we only get charged every 6 months gives you the ability to build up over 6 months before you have any deductions taken. But yes, it will be a part of the model ongoingly.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, sir.
My pleasure. Okay, I've got a few minutes left. Anybody else?
Yes,
John.
once again.
Yes, Michael.
Let's move on.
Yeah, okay,
I
John.
have had my hand raised.
Yep, yeah, John, go for it.
Yeah, you have mentioned something to do with one being able to build their community after the February 21st.
Yeah.
I just wanted to understand what would that mean, because if you are unable to add members anymore after February 21st, now
remember what I said at the very start. The crowdfund community is separate to the projects. The projects are separate to the community. The actual community continues to grow. You can always add people to the community. Which projects you can access is what may vary. So you can still build your community for the new project, capitalizing on what you've already built, but you can't bring new people into the DAISY AI project. So DAISY AI Endotech crowdfund stage ends February 21, no more people, but you'll still be able to build your community into the new project.
Oh, okay. And the new project is not yet announced.
Correct. Because look at it like this, as Jeremy said, I think was very opportune. If you had planned the most amazing actual wedding proposal for your bride, and you were going to make it something that's memorable for the rest of your life, and you decided to send that proposal on a voice clip, wouldn't be very romantic, would it? We don't want to.
No.
This project is too big to just do it on a Zoom. Okay, it needs the event with the detail, you getting the whole picture. And to be honest, it'll take a lot more education after that for you to grasp the enormity. Because like I said, I would bet that 220,000 people trying to guess would not be able to guess what it is. And I think you'll all be pleasantly surprised, but surprised. That's what I would say. Okay, we've got 2 minutes left.
Thank you so much.
Okay, Simon Isaac.
Will the new project have shares, sir?
Am I on? Simon, Michael, can you hear me?
Solomon, yes, go for it.
Yeah. All right, thank you very much. There was a talk about people being able to either withdraw their funds, something like that. I don't. Now we are not planning to withdraw, but for clarity purpose. And for those who are trying to get clarity on that, what was the update?
Yes, are you talking about the DAISY AI side?
Yes.
Yeah, as I said, you'll be able to continue to withdraw. Nothing changes. You'll be able to compound, you'll be able to withdraw, and after September, you'll be able to add new funds and still using the same trading. So really, all that's changing is no new people and the legal status of the fund that holds all that, the legal status of the entity that holds all those funds will change. But other than that, everything else remains the same.
All right, thanks, man.
That's okay.
Final question, sir.
If you can raise your hand too when you want, there's a little, you can see there, it's got the reactions tab. You can raise your hand just so I know who's asking the question. That'd be great. Okay, go for it.
Okay, now that it's too late for that, my question is, when you increase your, your capital right after September, will that also attract any shares to it, or it will just be an increment of your capital?
The ability to access equity ends February 21. So the new funds that you put in from September onwards is only increasing your working funds that are trading. It's no more equity. The equity is. And when does the IPO expected? According to the roadmap to Endotech release, they're predicting around Q4 this year. So in the final 3 months of the year. That is not locked in concrete because they have to make sure that when they IPO, it's not because we've finished the crowdfund. That doesn't automatically mean we go and publicly list. That just means the crowdfund stage is finished. No different if, when Uber or Airbnb or Netflix or Spotify finished their development phase, it didn't mean they instantly went and basically publicly listed their company. They might have done it 6 months or 1 year later. So the same here, we've got to have the ideal circumstances for them to do it, because we all want the maximum IPO valuation, so our shares are worth the maximum. And then people can decide whether they exit and cash out their equity or whether they actually hold on to it. And you asked the question about what should you do, go tier 4 or more tier 3. It simply comes down to, if you're passive, you just want to get the maximum amount of funds into trade. So you should always work on, using the momentum packs to get the most amount of funds. If you're an actual community builder, there's some advantage of increasing your tiers. And particularly if I was going to go to tier 4, I would try and push for tier 5 to help as well. So basically, that's the approach is different depending on whether you're passive or active. Bodhi, go for it.
Yeah, first, thanks for the very informative, detailed presentation, as always. So thanks for that. I have a question. We have seen in the chats that there have been some people who had an unpleasant thing happening to them, that their account has been hacked in the existing situation. And I know we had previous talks, because I asked a question before with regards to that, the collateral, of not collateral, how you call it, the initial money that has been actually funded in the whole account is something that a hacker cannot take out, only the profits. But there would be a situation or a circumstance at some point where there's going to be a change. And
yeah, look, all I know at this point in time is the following. I did have a conversation with Ilya a few months ago, and I know that they have talked about working with their development team of a way to potentially have people move to a new smart contract address, or at least be able to migrate their funds into a new account. Exactly what they're going to do, all he said was, we can't do anything until we move to the next model, because it's basically going to be new smart contracts, the same genealogy, but obviously you have to have new smart contracts to pay the referral side and all other processes. So basically just understand that I don't have the exact answer, but I know they are working on that as part of, because there is a lot of people, unfortunately, who, have gone into the public groups, and there's a lot of evil people out there who've basically tried to impersonate support and hack tools accounts. So they are working on a plan, but I don't know the exact outcome, but I know that it's been on their plan for quite a while now.
Okay. And is that something that people might expect somewhere when actually that shift is going to happen, or around the 21st of February?
I'm not sure about it. I basically need to ask Ilya and try and find out.
Okay. Okay. Great.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll get an update on that. But I know it was part of their plan. Well, folks, right, we've gone up to 6:05. I'm going to take one last question, if any, and then we're going to wrap it up, because I try to keep to an hour all the time. I value people's time. If not, basically I'll be doing more sessions over the coming weeks. But I hope I'll put the recording of this online into our Facebook group, and I'll also share it with the leadership channels as well, so they can pass on to their groups. Thanks everyone. I really appreciate coming out on your weekend. Have a fantastic weekend, and I wish you all the best for whatever you plan to do in 2024. I hope you got great value out of today, and I look forward to talking with you again soon. Take care.